And so at this point, God is very, very much in need of men that will be willing to advance his kingdom. And this is why this team has become very important. And like I began to share yesterday, if you study from Genesis chapter 1 verse 26, the moment God created man, that was his agenda. The Bible said in Genesis 1:26, God said, let us make man in our own image, after our likeness. And he said, let them have dominion over the birds of the air, the fish of the sea, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the face of the earth. And the Bible said God made them male and female. And he said in verse 28, and God blessed them, and God said, be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue the earth, and have dominion. And so you see that this word that we just read in Luke 19 verse 13 was the same thing God had in mind from the beginning. No wonder the Bible said, God speaking of himself, he said, I'm the Lord, I change it not. And so when God embarks on an agenda, it must be fulfilled. There's nothing that can stop it. And that agenda is for his kingdom, his invincible kingdom, to be made manifest in the visible realm. And when that kingdom is made manifest, his will find expression. And so whatever is not obtainable in heaven should not be obtainable in the sphere of the earth realm. So when you see us as believers winning souls, discipling people, manifesting the power of God, the whole idea is an attempt to establish the kingdom of God as it is in the heavens on the face of the earth. If there's no sickness in heaven, there should be no sickness on earth. If there's no failure in heaven, there should be no failure on earth. If there's no waste in heaven, there should be no waste on earth. If there's no debt in heaven, there should be no debt on earth. So the agenda is to advance what is in the spirit to become obtainable in the natural. And so when scriptures reveal that God speaking says to occupy until he comes, he's telling us something that is deeper than just filling the earth. When he says to multiply, occupy, he's not telling us to fill the earth necessarily. He's telling us to grow in capacity to trade with the resources of the kingdom and to establish his government on the earth realm. And so very quickly, two things I'll be doing now is to explain what it means to occupy, and then to itemize the kind of people that have the capacity to occupy. Because I've come to understand that as far as kingdom is concerned, number has no value, except as those who are multiplying are mature. Because if you understand kingdom legislation, I say it humorously. Imagine if 1 million children are protesting on the street. That protest will amount to nothing. In fact, it will be an urgency to save them. They get them quickly before they kill themselves. They don't have a voice. So before you talk of protest, before you talk of multiplication, you need to begin to also contemplate maturity. So if you have 100 mature people protesting, the impact is more than 1 million children protesting.